in chat. This is the Hardcore World of Warcraft Classic WoW podcast where we talk about all things hardcore, the state of the community. You guys are sitting here with me. My name's Winky. We've got Pops Bar and Grill above me, and above Pops we have Seedank. Graves for Days was supposed to be here, but his gnome died today and he's crying about it, so he's not going to be on the podcast today. If you're in chat, say hello. If you guys want to watch this on live on Twitch, we do it on Fridays at twitch.tv/Winky. That being said, though, we have not done an Fsin chat in literally a year. I think we're 1 week short of a year since the last time we did an Fsin chat. So I'd want to extend an apology to everybody who, watches Fsin chat, enjoys it, and it hasn't been around recently. It's because I haven't been around recently. I have been off doing my own thing, living in touching grass, as they say. And I'm here to report back to you. I can confidently say going outside is not all that it's cracked up to be. How do you feel about that, Seedank?
I think you're wrong. I think outside's pretty great. But that's just me.
What do you do when you go outside?
Talk to people.
So you just go to the grocery store.
Yeah, I stand outside the door.
Walk up to somebody and say, "Hey, my name's Seedank."
I approach them as they're walking to their car, and I follow them to their car, and I try to start a conversation that way.
That's
I start talking about
terrifying.
the things in their cart, oh yeah, Fruit Loops, those are cool.
Do you wear the black ball cap and the black t-shirt and
yeah, same one every day.
Follow people?
Yeah.
I love that. Pops, what do you do when you go outside?
I only go outside when I have to.
See, that's what I'm talking about. This is why Pops is based, okay? Pops is a real World of Warcraft player. He only goes outside when he has to. Genius. Seedank, you need to take lessons. I'm learning from Pops. That's why we're back doing the podcast, because I went outside and I hated it. I don't like the sun. Fresh air is gross. I do ride the motorcycle though. Every now and then, once in a while.
You have a motorcycle?
I do,
here,
yeah.
Oh, here it's 100 and something degrees, so it's no fun riding your motorcycle in 100 and something degrees. Take it from me.
No, every red light you stop at, you want to die. But cool. So let's do introductions since it's been a while. Seedank, would you like to go first and introduce yourself? How long have you been playing Hardcore WoW? What's your favorite aspect of playing World of Warcraft in general? Are you a leveler, raider, whatever? What do you like to do, and how have you gotten here?
Well, first off, I think I'm pretty famous now, and everyone already knows me, so it's kind of a waste. We're just going over things that everybody already knows. So, but
is that true?
Yeah, I'm very famous now.
Okay, so go ahead and describe us. Describe to us why and how you're famous then.
For dying a lot in hardcore. Pretty much. Yeah.
Dope. Love that.
You can come to my stream if you want to watch me die.
Okay, what's your stream?
Just Seedank.
Sick. On Twitter, x.com/Seedank, or
yeah, on Twitter. Yeah. I mainly stream on Twitter.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So Seedank is already famous, apparently. Pops, what brought you to hardcore? This is something I'm actually really interested in, believe it or not. I met you, Pops. How long ago did I meet you? It was over a year ago now, right? Oh, I muted. Hold on. Say something? Give me a check 1 2. Am I muted?
Check 1 2.
Oh, did I fix it? Seedank, give me a check 1 2.
1 2.
Okay, perfect. We should be good then. Okay, Pops. How long ago did I meet you?
It's got to be about a year.
About a year?
Yeah, about a year.
Yeah, because this time last year,
time we started OnlyFans, I think we met up.
Yeah, because I had known about you before OnlyFans, because we were doing a Fsin chat on official hardcore launch.
Oh yeah, I was on there a few times with Death Clips.
Yeah, we watched you die a few times, And then in OnlyFans, we both joined it and had a good time. Okay, so how did you find out about Hardcore WoW?
Well, I was actually doing hardcore. I was calling it a one life stream,
Okay.
and I was over in the undead starting zone. I remember this, and I was playing One Life, and somebody came in the stream and asked if I was using the add-on, and I had no idea there was an add-on for hardcore,
Oh,
and
really?
yeah, I was just playing hardcore,
So you
and
just like you did it because you wanted to, and you didn't know that there was like a community of people that were doing it.
yeah, I was doing it,
What?
just to see how high I could get, and somebody came in and told me about the add-on, and the next day I downloaded the add-on and started playing in the hardcore community, I guess.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
Pop's kind
So,
of he invented hardcore.
well, no, you were playing on the official like hardcore servers, right?
No,
Or was it
I
before
wasn't on
then?
Defias Pillager. I wasn't on Bloodsail Buccaneers back then. I was just on, I think, Escande or something. And I was
What?
just playing it. I was just
That's
playing it.
so cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all.
Yeah, I was just playing along. And then, like I said, two or three people came in the stream and they were like, there's an add-on if you're going to play One Life. And I was like, no, I didn't know any of this. And so I got the add-on, and then I found out that Bloodsail Buccaneers was the official hardcore server, and that's when I switched over to there and started playing on there.
That's so cool. I didn't know that. That's like some secret Pops history that I knew nothing about. That's really cool. So when you get what were your thoughts when you discovered that there was like a whole group of people that were playing hardcore WoW, like a community of people that were using the add-on? There was like these other rules I'm sure that you didn't know that came with the add-on, right? Because if you were doing it on your own, I'm sure it was just like, well, I don't want to die. You may have even had more rules on yourself knowing what you're doing nowadays. But like, what was your reaction seeing the add-on and like the difference in the community and like all the stuff when you started playing with the add-on?
I was actually pretty happy. I was pretty much following the rules of the add-on. I was solo self-found. I wasn't grouping or anything like that. And then when I saw the add-on, I was like, oh, this is great, This is
Mhm.
what I'm doing anyway. And of course, then, I realized there was a community, and that was like a lot of fun, getting to know some of the people there, and just running into people that were also playing hardcore. Because back then we all put HC at the end of our name or somewhere in our name, so everybody knew you were hardcore. And it was truly terrific. And I have to say, and I've always said this, I don't know who was all involved in making the add-on, but what a fantastic job everybody did when they made that add-on.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. You
I
know,
mean, I
the
had
creator of that add-on is in the chat probably right now, or at least one of the 5 or 6 people that worked hard on making that add-on.
yeah, I mean
Zidane in chat did a ton of work to create the add-on.
yeah, I don't know how much work went into it. I'm not a technical guy like that. I can't create add-ons. Christ, I have trouble making macros. Um,
Same, actually.
but it really was amazing to me, all the things that were in that add-on, all the achievements, and even to take it further into the hardcore Discord, where if you died, there was a committee that would review it if it was a DC and possibly let you go on. I mean, the commitment of everybody in the community to be on that committee or to suggest things or to fix the bugs and stuff. I mean, just a super group of people that were dedicated to making this community stronger, making it a great adventure for people. It's just awesome. I mean, I can't tell you how many hours of pleasure I got playing hardcore and how many hours of pleasure I still get playing hardcore. And I'm still using the add-on, even though I'm on Defias Pillager, I still use the add-on.
That's awesome to hear because there's a lot of work that went into that. Like Jordina in the chat, she did a ton of work to moderate the community. She's still one of she basically runs the hardcore Discord these days. She does just about everything along with a handful of other people. Zidane went really hard on the add-on work. Zidane did a ton of work behind the scenes for a lot of stuff. There was someone named Yazpad that did a lot of work back in the day, and it was it's cool with hardcore because a lot of the people that are playing hardcore now, they may not know like the ins and outs. Like I think the average player probably downloads WoW if they like playing classic, and they just see that there's hardcore servers, and they're like, oh, maybe I'll try that and see like what level I can get to before I die. But I think like the average person that's playing hardcore in 2024 has no idea like the history and the depth and like the amount of work that went into a grassroots community that eventually grew it into the reality of like what it is right now. And it's really cool like seeing the years and years and years of changes and like groundwork that was laid, and all these people volunteering their time. You know, no one was getting paid for anything. Everyone was just like dedicated to the community, and as it like grew and grew and grew, and then it eventually became a reality, which is still, in my opinion, one of like the top 10 moments of like I don't want to say like peak life for me, but like definitely top 5 like moments in video gaming that I've ever seen. It's crazy that we got the attention of like $1 billion company as a grassroots movement, and they actually created what we were doing in the game. That is bonkers. But
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot of people don't get enough credit for making that happen for sure.
I mean, credit, whether it's due or not, is like, I don't know. Looking back on it, it's like I know that there's people that are like super helpful. People like Statix, you know, that poured their like entire heart and soul into hardcore WoW on and off stream. And then he quit streaming and continued to help behind the scenes, like grow everything and get things figured out. He was part of like every rules discussion, all of the achievements and stuff that you see in the add-on. We used to call those like the Captain Statix achievements list, where he manicured and like helped create the rules around all of those achievements. And that was after he basically quit streaming. Like he was just done. He was focusing on his like doctorate's degree, and he just came back to the Discord every day to help out with just random stuff. Things like that. There needs to be a documentary, man. Like the hardcore WoW community, there needs to be a documentary. It's crazy. The turns and the twists and the ups and the downs and the everybody's playing and then nobody's playing and then everybody's playing and then nobody's playing, and it's wild. Hardcore All-Stars. But
all the drama behind the scenes as well. Oh
God, all the drama. There was so much drama. Pops, you dodged most of that drama, right? You don't really deal with drama, do you?
Try to stay out of drama.
Yeah, that's good. I'm trying to do that too these days. CNANK just creates drama, so it's hard for me to.
It's part of the fun of playing an MMO.
Yeah.
That's why I made the tier list. I was the driving motivation. I was like, this is gonna cause some drama.
Yeah, we're gonna take a look at the OnlyFans tier list later in the podcast, because there's a lot of stuff with OnlyFans I want to cover, but I want it all to be under the OnlyFans like blanket of the stream. And I also wish that Graves was here to talk about OnlyFans, because us three were in OnlyFans last time. So I was hoping Graves could come on and give us a perspective of someone who's never been in the guild, that's going to be in the guild, to like get an understanding of like what he's looking forward to. But regardless, Pops, is there anything else you think people need to know about you as like an introductory to who you are?
Well, I'm 63 years old, if anybody cares about that. And I never stopped playing hardcore. Since I've started it, I've never stopped. I probably got more deaths in hardcore than anybody else on earth.
True.
But I truly, truly love playing it. I love the challenge of it. Lately, I've been experimenting with some crazy challenges.
Yeah, hold off on those, because that's the next question I'm going to ask everybody, is like what they're doing.
Yeah. And you know what? My stream was really, really small. Until I started dying in hardcore, I guess. And then people saw death clips. And, I wish Graves was here too, because maybe this is off topic, but I was streaming one day and all of a sudden, the stream starts exploding with followers left and right. And apparently Graves had gotten hold of one of my death clips and played it in his stream. And thanks to, he started the movement for me getting more and more recognized, him, Stay Safe, a few other people that were showing death clips on their stream. And the next thing my follower count went up, and I had more and more viewers. But that's thanks to guys like Grays and Stay Safe and people like you who put me on F's in chat. You know,
Well, can I tell you one thing that's cool about streaming that I figured out over the years? You can be a streamer that gets blasted out there by the biggest streamers in the world, and you can never see any benefit from it. Or you can be a streamer that gets blasted out there by some larger streamers and you see a ton of benefit from it. And I think you're the perfect example, Pops, of someone who's good at streaming, who's entertaining, consistent, shows up at the same time, logs in, plays the game, has fun, makes content out of it, and holds people's attention while like you are the example of someone who grew because the exposure helped people find someone who was already good at what they were doing. Does that make sense?
yeah.
Because like if you were a
get it.
bad streamer and you got all this exposure and you sucked at streaming, people would never stick around. Like that's like me, right? Like if I get a bunch of exposure, I only stream like once every couple months. Like no one ever sticks around my channel. And if they do, they're the real ones. Shout outs to people in chat right now. You'll give yourself a pat on the back.
Pops is crushing it, man, and he's got a great stream. I love coming in there, hanging out. I'm in there in his chat most days. you know?
Yeah.
But,
Pop's a real one, dude.
Yeah.
Out here doing push-ups and shit.
No, it's dope. It's dope to see how he's grown. And what's funny, Pops, is Grays gave me the same treatment. It's like he really put me on when I was getting started with hardcore. And same thing, just like, okay, everybody go to his channel. We're gonna rate him. Everybody follow him, and the follows came in. I still have those people in my community to this day. So it's dope. He's a cool guy. Sucks he's not here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think hardcore WoW has been a unique community, and if you're into streaming, like if streaming is something that you like to do, hardcore WoW is a great place to be because it was always like very tight-knit community. Everyone kind of knows everyone, but it's not in a bad way. It's everyone's kind of like nice to each other. Everyone likes to raid someone else who's playing hardcore at the end of their stream, and they don't really think about it like, oh, I'm gonna raid someone bigger than me because then there's a chance people in their chat see my name and then follow. Like no one does that. And if they do, they don't do it for very long because they realize it doesn't work. It's a really cool, supportive community, and it's also cool because the people that watch hardcore streams usually watch just about everyone who plays hardcore. So you can go into someone else's chat and you can see, oh, there's a bunch of my friends that I know from Pops' chat watching CDank right now. Or I can go into Grays' chat and be like, oh, these are all the people from Cargos' chat and like my chat. And like everyone just kind of like intertwines into this like real interesting group. We talked for a long time about doing like a hardcore convention, like a hardcore meetup somewhere, like in Vegas, like getting a little ballroom or something. I think it'd be pretty cool.
Maybe to premiere the documentary.
That would be sick. We had a documentary getting worked on for a while, and unfortunately it was going to cost way too much money to put that thing together because we had like actual Netflix directors like doing the work on it, and it was way too much money. And when I say actual Netflix director, I mean I got drunk in LA one night and I got talking to a guy, and he was a director for 2 shows that were on Netflix, and he offered to direct the hardcore
maybe
documentary.
Maybe a little bit lower. Like, I think Sardaka went to film school. Maybe we can ask him.
Yeah. No, just Sardaka at this rate would charge us more than the other dude would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sardaka is out here farming right now. But cool. Okay, well, moving on. I've seen a lot of different things evolve over the years with hardcore WoW. First, it started with, Cargos and Iron Lad saying, how high can I get before I die? Like, what level can I get to? Then it was, oh God, it was, can I do, how many dungeons, or like what dungeons can we do as a hardcore group, like that are safe? And then it was like the first time anyone had ever done Maraudon in hardcore. and then people started hitting 60. And then it was, is end game even a possibility? And then people tried to do the first level 60 dungeon. And it's just like, everyone just keeps kind of like pushing the limits of what hardcore is until we get official servers.
It's funny to look back and think about, like, can we kill Ragnaros? Is it possible?
Yeah. I mean, we had a whole event called Road to Ragnaros, and it was like a huge event to just see if we could possibly do it. And that was where we recruited Ompi. That was where Ompi like entered the documentary of hardcore. He had been around as a speed leveler, but he really showed up with Road to Rag to raid lead. That was where the whole Ompi arc happened. But that being said, now, I mean, we've cleared KT on hardcore. We've done just about all of what the game can offer. So now we're starting to see these people do these insane challenges. C-Dink, I want you to talk a little bit what challenge you're doing right now, why you're doing it, and how it's going and how it's been going.
Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to do is see how long I can stall while doing nothing and still maintain my viewers. And it's been a pretty successful experiment so far. Sometimes I'll go for like 2, 3, 4 hours and they're still there. But in all seriousness, I'm trying to solo all the dungeons as a warrior. So just I'm following the hardcore add-ons, like specifications for like this is the maximum level that you can enter Deadmines, Wailing Caverns, etc. And RFC, by the way, I did RFC. But like I'm playing it. I'm playing a warrior, which is probably not the most ideal for this challenge. So I've been like just juicing it up and trying to see how far I could possibly get. And it's been really fun, like pushing the limits of a warrior in like every bracket of level. Like like at level 18, what's like the maximum that a warrior can do? Like level 26, what's the maximum that a warrior can do? And seeing what I can get away with. But that challenge, it's been great having like a goal, like you were talking about this too, like knowing like you have something that you're working towards, it's some place you're trying to get to it, and I think it creates a bit of a storyline that people can follow along with. So yeah, it's been good. It's been a great time.
That's awesome. So that initial like soloing dungeons on a warrior, I remember back in the day, Tainted HC did something similar to that. I think he was leveling solo self-found. I don't remember what dungeon he got to. You might know because people probably come in your chat and talk about it sometimes.
They talk about it. I've gone to his channel and did my research. I used his jumps to get into RFC, his alliance, right? But he didn't do Nomer. He got as far as I did.
Okay, yeah. So he didn't do Nomer. And what dungeon are you up to now?
I just died Nomer.
You just died in Nomer. So are you gonna go again and like try and re-clear Nomer again?
These characters are very expensive, so
yes,
I'm gonna have to find an investor from Brazil to fund this one. So
are you on Defias Pillager?
Yes,
I'll invest.
You'll invest?
I've got like 3,000 gold. Yeah,
I can promise. In a couple of years, like we're gonna turn this thing around and start making gold. So
yeah, I'll invest. Yeah. I'll invest in the rerun back to Nomer. But you can't throw for content. Like if you're gonna do this on my money, you're gonna do this.
Okay,
you're gonna do it.
I'll take no more advice from Tactics. Absolutely.
Yeah, sure. No, screw Tactics. No.
Okay.
No, I have a bunch of gold on Defias Pillager just burning a hole on my account because during the OnlyFang scavenger hunt, I don't know if you remember this, but I had one of the scavenger hunt turn-ins trade me 100 gold. And there were like a ton of people playing in that tournament, or in the there was like, what was it? There's like 40 people playing. So I got 4,000 gold. And then another one of the line items of the scavenger hunt was trade Winky a Petri flask. So then I got 40 Petri flasks, and then I sold those.
That's diabolical, dude. I remember this now.
Yeah, and then I basically got a ton of gold laying around on Defias Pillager. I never needed to buy anything ever again. By the way, thank you guys so much for the gifted subs and the follows. I see them. We're just during the podcast. It's hard for me to give you guys credit where it's due, but I really appreciate all the support, you guys. Pops, you've been doing challenge runs for a minute now. Like what are some of the recent challenges that you've been trying to accomplish on hardcore?
Well, I was doing what they call, or what I was labeling as an extreme hardcore challenge. Basically, solo self-found, no buffs, no professions, no talents, no repairs, no gear. other than a weapon and bags, of course. And then I was doing that as the White Knight, where the weapon could not be green, blue, or purple.
Okay.
So I was doing a whole bunch. Best I ever got to was 26 on a shaman who died. But now I'm back to kind of focusing on just getting in the tune of doing regular SSF. So when OnlyFans rolls around, I'm in that groove again.
Okay.
Um,
Well,
However, on YouTube,
mhm.
I'm still doing the Extreme Hardcore Challenge on a Warlock, which is
Okay.
currently 18. Also on YouTube, I'm doing this challenge that somebody brought up to me called the Mountaineer Challenge.
Oh, what's that? Okay, let's see the.
So the Mountaineer Challenge basically, you're not allowed to use any weapons, any gear, or anything until you craft your very own weapon. So obviously, you take up blacksmithing as your first profession, you make your first mace or whatever. Then once you equip your weapon, you can then start to equip other stuff. But up until then, you're raising bare knuckle fighting. You also have to, as of level 10, keep up your fishing, your cooking, your first aid. They must remain at least 5 levels above your level. So at 10, you're supposed to be 50 and all that. You have to be at least 55. There's 3 tiers of loot.
Uh-huh.
The first tier is you can only equip gear that you craft.
Okay.
The second tier is you can only equip gear that you craft or that you get out of fishing containers or chests. And the last tier is you can only equip gear that you loot or craft or get out of chests. There's no quest gear allowed to be used, and there's no buying from the vendor. The only thing you can buy from the vendor is food, drink, and crafting agents like, silk thread or weak flux and all that. It's supposed to be based upon the idea that you're a mountain man and you're dropped into this zone. The Mountaineer add-on will turn off your mini map.
Okay.
And in addition, you have to disable your world map. You're not allowed to have on a world map. You're not allowed to have your mini map. And
What?
and you also have to, when you log out, you cannot be in an inn or any place that gives rested XP.
So
You
no
have to
rested
log out in the
XP
wilderness.
in the
It's actually
wilderness.
quite fun.
Okay, all right. Who came up with that idea?
Somebody came up with it. There's an add-on for it. It's called Mountaineer on Curse Forge, and somebody came in one day and said, "Pops, you ought to try this challenge." And of course, I honestly believe, and I firmly try to always respect the people that come into my channel. And if they present me with an idea, then I try to investigate it and try to do it.
That's really, I didn't know there was an add-on for that. So Jordy is in the chat and she's very knowledgeable on this. And she said it was either Flip Mode or his crew that came up with and made that add-on for the Mountaineer Challenge. That's wild. I've been loving the challenges. I'm not gonna lie. It's something that reminds me of like early hardcore days when people were trying to make things more difficult. Like I'm gonna level 1 to 60 with PvP on, or they'll try all these extra difficult things like the Burning Truths and Tainted HC, the same person that was doing the solo dungeons on a warrior. They did no hit challenges. You had statics, you had Tainted, take with the no hit runs or the no damage runs. We've seen people do. There's so many cool little challenges now. I've personally been a big fan of the scavenger run, which is the ones where you're not allowed to use quest rewards or any items that you get from anything other than looting it off the ground.
Pops did that one. Yeah.
Scavenger runs are really fun.
That challenge.
I think
that's such a fun challenge. The only problem is the add-on now doesn't support that in Classic.
Yes, and it sucks, but I still did it as a druid, just kind of like self-imposing the rules. And I know that like you can't prove that I didn't cheat, but like I know I didn't cheat, so it doesn't matter. It's not like I got to 60 on that character anyway. But it took me 6 hours to get bags because I had to kill mobs in the starting zone over and over and over again until I got 4 bags to drop, just the little 6 slaughters, and I had terrible luck. It's a really fun challenge. So there's the scavenger challenge. Another really cool challenge that I just recently heard about. Have you guys heard about the Batman challenge?
No.
So, okay, dude. So apparently there is a Batman challenge now where people play rogue and they're not allowed to use weapons, but they have to go engineering and they're only allowed to use stuff on their quote unquote utility belt. So they've got like engineering items, they've got things like slice and dice or sprint, right? Like they pretend that they're all these gadgets that they're
like
using.
blind,
Right? They have to melee things down like fisticuffs Batman style, right? Like you got to beat them up, but you can use throwing weapons because that's the batarang. And then they also can only equip black or gray gear. So full Defias leather or, rogue starting
it's
gear.
Such a stupid idea. It's so stupid.
But it would be so cool to see someone like get to 60 doing a Batman challenge.
Yeah, they would have to do a full like Batman cosplay and like voiceover the entire time, and like pretend like he's trying to keep the streets clean or something.
I've recently Pops. I don't know if you saw yesterday. I was doing the naked warrior with no weapons, and that challenge has been testing me at every turn. It's insane trying to kill things on that warrior. Like every single mob you fight is just a slog. Takes forever to do anything.
Do you really want that?
Yeah.
You think you do, but like, for real, man. Like,
I do.
You do. You're a strange man, but I support you.
I think that it is exactly what Voivod did. So the one person that's done this challenge 1 to 60, Voivod did it, and the first time he did it, he allowed himself to use weapons, but then everybody in his chat called him lame for that. So he went back and he redid it with no weapons. So fully naked, no weapons, and it's very difficult. Not difficult in terms of like skill. It's just difficult in terms of mentality. Like it really wears you down punching things to death with no armor on. So it's been interesting. Shout outs to C-Dank for being in my chat all night last night, cheering me on, trying to get me to kill Hogger because he thought Hogger was going to kill me. And then we ended up killing Hogger. So
I told you to use the marbles, okay? I basically get credit for that.
Yeah. The marble play was big. Yeah, C-Dank was assisting in my warrior problems last night. It was really fun. Yeah, but it took Voivod 28 days played time to do 1 to 60.
Yeah, I don't know, Winky. I don't think it's gonna happen.
How many hours is that? That's at least. Oh my god, bro! 100 hours is 4 days. Played time. Oh my god, that's a lot. It's like 3,000 hours.
Yeah, it's thousands.
No, it's more than that. Oh god, I'm so bad at math.
Can you imagine how many books you could read? Like how much you could learn? Like how many instruments you could learn? How many languages you could learn in that many hours? And you want to spend it punching mobs in Elwynn Forest, bro?
Yep.
It's 672 hours.
Is it really?
Days. Yep.
Oh, okay, I thought it was more than that.
Wow, I'm an
terrible
idiot.
at math.
I'm really dumb.
Yeah,
We're
me too.
dumb. Thanks, Pops, for being the only smart person on the call today. I really appreciate that. Too bad Graves for Days is here because he'd be the dumbest one. Yeah, well,
he's got the calculator. Dude, he's got the old school calculator.
Damn,
I love
Pops.
it.
I miss having a real calculator. I just use my phone now, and I hate using my phone for stuff.
Yeah.
But the challenges are really cool. It's been interesting seeing the challenges. I'm actually really excited to see what the future of challenges becomes. Because it's only going to get worse from here. People will be doing crazy stuff. And this is cool. I don't know if you guys follow along with like old school RuneScape, but the timeline is pretty much the same. Old school RuneScape was a thing. It came out. People got tired of it in the way that it was. So it got changed into like a hardcore version of it. They called it Iron Man mode. And then people started taking the Iron Man mode and making additional challenges on top of that. So it's kind of interesting. You can almost see where the future of hardcore is going to go if you look at the old school RuneScape community. So you think, are you using your calculator right now?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I was sorry, I was responding to something.
You don't have to apologize, bro. I don't give a shit. You think we care?
You called me out like that.
No, I thought you literally had a calculator. Like.
Oh, no calculator.
Okay. Is anybody in the chat doing any challenge runs right now? I know Grace. So Grace isn't here to talk about his challenge, but he's doing the Fisherman Challenge, where you can only equip gear that you fish out of a chest, and you get lucky with RNG. And it's basically cheating.
you have to do it so long that it's like you don't have to get lucky. You just have to like fish 1,000 boxes before you can even play the game.
I mean, Graves makes it look like it's fun, and I think that's the bait because people watch his stream and they see him doing it and they're like, "Dang, that looks fun." It's not that fun. I think it's only fun because he's streaming it. To be honest, if he wasn't streaming it, it wouldn't be fun at all.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Back in the day, Jamin used to do the fish shaman challenge where he was trying to level a shaman with a fishing pole weapon.
Yeah.
And they took, I don't know what update it was, but they removed the ability to put Rockbiter on a fishing pole in Classic WoW. And it's not supposed to be like that. You're supposed to be able to put Rockbiter on your fishing pole. But at one of the updates, whether it was like TBC or whenever they moved like the client,
it was the Kata client recently because you could do it in the. I was doing it in the hardcore beta. I was playing a shaman, and I had the weapon enchant on my fishing pole.
What is this?
Killing mobs and Swamp of Sorrow like a raid. Yeah.
What is this clip?
Yeah, Gray's challenge. It's great because it's Gray's. It's not because the challenge is great, but because Gray's is doing it. You know, that's what makes it fun.
Yeah, we have this clip here. So this was said. Graves is not doing okay during this challenge. Let me see.
I think I know what my dad's dick looks like.
Bro, I was just gonna ask, have you ever seen your parents? Yeah, you know what? Maybe nobody should ever do fishing challenges, you guys. Maybe fishing challenges are not the play. Maybe avoid fishing at all costs.
You know what? I asked my chat after I saw that clip, and like everyone said, like, yeah, I've seen my dad's dick. Like everyone's seen their dad's dick. It's I think that's another.
I feel like at some point in life, everyone accidentally walks in on one of their parents completely naked. That's just part of life. Pops, you ever walked in on your parents naked?
I'll plead the fifth.
Okay.
Could you imagine being raised by a nudist colony? Like if you were born into a nudist colony, that would be crazy. Anyone in chat is anyone in chat that lives on a nudist colony or like was born on a nudist colony?
Is that even like that common? I feel like that's like gotta be extraordinarily rare.
I feel like it's gotta be pretty common, right? Anyway, to keep the to keep it going on topic here. We haven't done F's in chat in a little under a year, so it's been a long time. And what sucks is I stopped doing F's in chat because I took my break shortly after hardcore servers actually like released officially, which is crazy because you would think that would be the time where like the most death clips were happening and like the most changes to like hardcore and stuff was going on. But you know what's wild is that we've seen like Era grow and die off over the last year. We've seen Cataclysm come out. We've seen Season of Discovery come out. We've seen people flock to those game modes. We've seen now with The War Within out. There's a lot of people playing a lot of different versions of WoW. The hardcore servers never like felt empty. I'm pretty sure there's still layers on both of them, Skull Rock and Defias Pillager.
I was flabbergasted when I logged one day into Stormwind, and there was just a bunch of people running around, and not only people like, oh hey, look, it's Saniac's back. You know, like, people that I know or like that recognize me. It's like I didn't realize that the whole time that it was gone, that this was still like thriving the entire time behind the scenes. I maybe wish that I never did. You know? Yeah,
isn't it crazy how busy and how it like. I don't want to say the servers are incredibly populated, but like it's never died down at all. It's just kind of just like been a consistent player base playing hardcore the entire time. And there's like 3 other ways to play WoW that have released since hardcore servers come out. And the community there is still strong. They're still dropping world buffs like every day on Defias Pillager. There's 4 layers on Skull Rock. I don't know how many there are on DP right now. It's crazy.
The way Bobco would put it is like you know, all these other game modes, they're like your side piece, you know, your girlfriend on the side, and like you know, hardcore is like your wife that you always come back to, you know.
Is that what Bobco would say?
That's what Bobco does say, yes.
It is exciting. By the way, we do have Audie in the chat saying that they are going to start a nudist colony in their living room. Just shout outs to that.
Can I join?
No,
Oh damn. Okay.
I mean you could. I don't know. That's not my
I
place
gotta
to
ask
say.
Audie.
Yeah, you have to talk to Audie about it. But it's cool. Oh, go ahead, Pops.
So, just an opinion. Do you think that the hardcore servers are better or worse than when we were on Bloodsail Buccaneers? Which did you prefer?
That is a
I
good
had
question.
the same. I was actually thinking this, and I just didn't say it. But when you were talking, like, did it feel like it was a downgrade? Because in a lot of ways, it was. You know, not just with the features, but also with like the moving away from this like tight knit, small like community thing over to the Solus corporate, Blizzard, whatever. Yeah, it feels like we lost a lot.
So I have to emphasize, for reasons I will not be saying, I am a little bit biased in that on that topic. I think official hardcore servers are amazing, and they were a huge upgrade from the Bloodsail days. But that's my personal bias based on that. I think that there is incredible positives to what we used to have on Bloodsail with the death appeals, if that's something that you liked. Personally, I hated death appeals. I always hated death appeals, and I was on that council, Pops, that you were talking about earlier, of people who did death appeals and helped people that DC'd and got griefed and things like that. And I did it for the better of the community.
We're begging you for appeals at some point.
yeah. I did it for the better of the community because I understand the reason why appeals were viewed as a good thing. I just disagreed with it personally. So I took my personal idea out of it, and like as part of the group think tank, I decided to help with the appeals. Not because I liked it, but because it was part of the rules, and we got to respect the rules, right? That being said, though, I do like official hardcore way more. Way more. I love the fact that it's official. I love the fact you don't have to stream your entire run. I love the fact that you're not running an add-on that is manipulatable. You can download it, you can open it up, you can mess with the files, you can cheat. It's official hardcore. You cannot cheat. It's impossible to cheat. Of course, you can do things like mob tag, which suck. But I think that we're better off in terms of like legitimacy on an official server. Also, I really love Mak'gora. Like, I really love Mak'gora on official servers.
Same.
Okay.
Wait, Pop. How do you answer the question? Like did you? What are your feelings?
See, I'm old fashioned, and I like the add-on. I don't like the fact that even when we go self-found, we can still group. Hardcore is not intended to be done as a group. Hardcore was intended to be done solo. And I get we can group for dungeons. I'm 100% behind that, but any other grouping, no. Shouldn't be allowed to group other than for dungeons.
Pops, do you want a little bit of history on that opinion that you have? Because I share that opinion. I think that it should be a solo self-found game mode.
Yep. And the other thing, though, I have to bring up is you were just talking about appeals and everything else like that. Well, there is no appeal process on the service. What was it, 4 or 5 days ago? The DC, over 100 people lost their characters because Blizzard's server had an issue. They didn't die.
Yep.
They died because of a server issue. Now, I get one person DCs, he's got bad internet, or his cat unplugged his router, or some crazy stuff. Okay. But when you have hundreds of people dying to a mistake made by the company that's sponsoring this server, there's an issue. And there's got to be a process to make these people who lost their characters through no fault of their own to make them whole. And you can't give them 5 days of game time or whatever and say, oh yeah, we're sorry you died.
Here's what I think, Pops. Let me know if this would work for you as an answer to that. Instead of having an appeal process, if Blizzard servers go down and it's on Blizzard's end, that whether it's a DDoS or whatever that causes the server to go down, I think that they should spawn every character 1 hour rollback. So they roll the entire server back to the state it was an hour ago and send everybody to their Hearthstone location upon logging in. So that way, if the server goes down, they go, oh shit, we fucked up. And then everyone logs in after the servers are back up safely in the Hearthstone location.
They tested that, the beta. Do you remember?
They did.
They did, and they never did anything with it.
They used that tech for the flight paths. If you DC on a flight path, you now log back in at the flight master.
That was such a problem. I remember people would fall off the birds.
Yeah,
oh
so they left a part of that on the flight paths, but the overall problem of server-wide DCs, they never fixed. But I think only a rollback should be like, you know, go back to like 10, because the problem is you can't just roll the server back because people would log in like, you know, on top of 70 mobs they just cleared through a cave to get to. When the DC happened, if they were like in combat and then they rolled back 10 minutes to save everyone's characters, well, you're still going to pull all those mobs when you log in and die. So you'd have to roll it back and teleport everyone to their Hearthstone location. And I think it's doable. I don't know why they didn't end up doing that. Maybe it's just too much work, too much coding, too much upkeep, because there's got to be someone, I'm sure, that presses those buttons at Blizzard HQ that goes, oh shit, we have a server outage or whatever. But I think that's a better system than appeals, because appeals, the problem with appeals, Pop, is that they're subjective. The person watching the video makes the decision.
I agree 100%. I mean, believe me, I agree 100% on that. And you know, it's just a thorn in my side to see 100 people lose a character. But again, remember, when you go on the hardcore server, you agree to the fact that no matter what causes your death, you're dead. You do have to click I agree to the terms of hardcore when you create your character, and you agree to that. But I mean, I can just imagine how it would feel, okay, when we start leveling, and I know you're going to bring up OnlyFans, but when we start leveling up, and you get to 59 3/4, and then there's a server DC.
Yep.
And, you know, through no fault of your own, now you can't do the raids. You can't do this because it was a glitch on the server end.
Yep. 100%.
You know what I mean?
I remember when official hardcore came out and Frontier was pushing for the world first every raid. I was part of that guild. And I was getting to 60, and I DC'd 3 times on my way, 1 to 60, and it was on Blizzard's end. It was the server going down 3 times that I lived through. And the reason I lived through it was because I played my Warlock on launch, assuming that the server could go down at any time. So the cool part about servers is that when they go down, so do the mobs that are hitting you. So it's not like when you normally disconnect and your character stays logged in for a minute while the mobs just kill you before your character goes offline. When the server goes down, everything goes down, as far as I'm aware. I think it's like everything goes still for like 15 seconds and then it just everything's boom, gone. So I'm not sure. The way that I was doing it was like I would always pull things out to somewhere where if I DC'd while fighting it, I could log back in and I wouldn't pull anything else around me that would reset. So like in Fellwood, I was in for one of them and I pulled a mob to the road to fight it on the road because I knew if I DC'd, I wouldn't pull anything else when I logged back in. And then, you know, lo and behold, I actually DC'd. I came back and I was very fortunate because that mob was reset way the hell back into the camp that it came from. So it sucks, but it is one of those things that you got to just sign up for and be like, hey, this is official hardcore. It's the same thing that's always been in Diablo 2 hardcore, Diablo 3 hardcore, Path of Exile hardcore, like UDC. Sometimes that's just how your luck, you know, your luck falls. But there's got to be an answer. You know, there's got to be an answer from Blizzard one day on how they can help mitigate, whether it's through better service to their own servers on hardcore servers, or maybe they have better DDoS protection for the hardcore server. I don't know how that all works internally. I'm sure that I'm sounding stupid to someone who like understands how servers work, but there's got to be something you can do, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. So, okay, but we got way off track. Pops, what do you like more, Blood Sale or the official servers?
I like Bloodsail.
You like
Again, I
Bloodsail?
like the fact that it's solo self-found. I like the fact that, you couldn't mob tag, you can't group with anybody. Bloodsail, it was a very good, clear set rule.
Yeah.
And so I like Bloodsail. Or if Blizzard just said, hey, look, we're gonna make a solo self-found mode, I would be 100% in support of that, because I do like the fact that on the hardcore server you can't cheat, you can't res.
Yeah.
If you die on Defias, you can res, who cares, you move on. Yes, you failed the challenge and everything else, but you don't have to tell people that. If you're streaming off stream and you die and res and nobody sees it, and then you log on your stream, you just keep going. You don't tell anybody about that. But that goes down to your integrity. You're the person that has to live with the fact that you cheated. And if you're a streamer and you did it and you cheated, you have to live with the fact that you in front of people cheated and lied to them.
Yeah, you're lying to their face. They used to say back in the day that if
And
you
you're lying,
cheat,
and you're lying to the people that are supporting your stream.
100%, 100%.
So
We used to say though,
I love the hardcore servers that when you die, you can't come back. I like them for that.
We needed Pops to talk to Mitch Jones when he was
yeah, for real.
thing.
Actually, yeah.
Like,
yeah,
give a
Pops
stern talking to.
Yeah, Pops needs to go to handle Mitch Jones. We used to say when you cheat though, you're only cheating yourself, because ultimately you are. Everyone's had their own player agency. If they cheated, they're only removing that reward. Because let's be real, a lot of people play hardcore. I would say most of the people that play hardcore play it because they like a challenge. They like something difficult. They like feeling like they get that dopamine rush when they do something that's difficult and hard, and they enjoy earning something. So it's like if you cheat at that, you're only cheating yourself. Like if you cheated, you're never going to be happy with yourself. There's no feedback loop, at least I would think. But it's funny, Pops. I'll give you some history on the self-found mode. Back before hardcore servers were officially out, there was a large group of people urging Blizzard to make solo self-found a specific mode, just like it is now, where there's the buff, but instead of self-found, solo self-found. Like you turn off the capability of being able to group. And Blizzard refused to do it. Not because they didn't agree that it would be a good way to play the game, but because they were afraid that it takes the multiplayer aspect out of the MMO and it removes the community aspect of World of Warcraft.
That's so backwards.
It's incredibly backwards, but that was verbatim what they were scared of. They were saying, if it's solo self-found, we will do a self-found mode, but we have to take the solo part out of it because we want it to be a community-based game.
How do you explain the entire hardcore community leading up to that then? Like that.
Exactly.
So nonsense.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and we had a hodgepodge though.
You got to understand, Blizzard's got to appeal to a bigger audience. Okay, Blizzard has to appeal to all the players and all the subscribers. And so there's a lot of people that never tried hardcore until Blizzard dropped servers. A lot of people watched it and thought it was interesting, but a lot of people were afraid to do it. And I think Blizzard is looking at that and saying, well, if we make it solo self-found, there might be 10 or 20% of the people that want to do it, but won't do it because it's solo self-found. And they've got to appeal to the millions of people that are subscribed. That's a business decision, and it's a good business decision.
Yeah.
And I get that. But they should have, when they gave us the self-found mode, make another box, solo self-found.
100%. And I think, I'm sorry if anyone's watching this right now, I think my computer's having some internet issues. Discord might be messing up on me. I'm getting a little bit of lag every now and then.
You're not playing hardcore.
I know, right? I can't really do much about that. It's just a Discord issue, but right now it's showing the stream's doing fine. So hopefully it fixes itself. But
Euler made a really good point in chat. He says on retail.
Go ahead.
He says on retail you have to solo dungeons and delves and raids now too.
So it seems like retail is catering to people wanting to solo, play the game more in a way where it feels like a single player game. And Classic, that was what they were afraid of. You know, it's kind of
Yeah.
weird, how that worked out. I don't know. I still like official more. I loved the Bloodsail days. Don't get me wrong. I view the Bloodsail days as like the golden era, the golden age of hardcore. Like that was when it was that was peak for me. It was like Road to Rag was the peak experience of my hardcore life. Like Road to Rag was so fun. And I don't think I'll ever get that again. And as we've said in before, you know, Road to Rag is an era to look back on and remember fondly, not an era to try and ever replicate ever again. Because it was a lot of work. Pops, I don't think you were around for Road to Rag, but it was Season of Mastery came out. And on Season of Mastery, they had put the Iron Man or the Soul of Iron buff in the seasonal World of Warcraft. And it was a stealth drop. Nobody knew that you could go to that guy and get the Soul of Iron buff. So nobody from Blizzard even knew that you could do that. So what ended up happening was a new hire onto the Classic team at Blizzard was a fan of watching hardcore WoW streams and played a little bit of hardcore WoW themselves. And they added the Soul of Iron buff into World of Warcraft for Season of Mastery without getting anyone's approval. They just put it in there as like a nod to the hardcore community. So it was pretty cool. So we did like this entire event around Soul of Iron where you can, you know, we did like the Road to Rag to see if raiding was ever going to be a thing. And that's where Ompi came in and raid led. We had all these hardcore guilds like Hardcore Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta. You know, there was Foxtrot.
Oh, Charlie Gang.
Chuck
Hell
Gang.
yeah.
Yeah, Charlie Gang. Hardcore Charlie, you used to call Chuck Gang. And that was like
Yep.
the guild that all the degenerates that got kicked out of every other guild ended up in. And I was the guild leader of that one. Chuck Gang was a great time. Good
Oh my
old
God,
Chuck
dude.
Gang. If you were in Chuck
But
Gang,
you-
put a 1 in chat. I'd love to see if anyone here is from Chuck Gang. I already see some Bravo Bears in the chat.
Bravo Bears. We're never going to be able to go back the same way you can never go back to original vanilla. You know, the way that you experienced it the first time. You've lost your innocence, and you can go back and you can play it again as a changed man. But you can never, you know, re-experience the newness and the unknowing. You can't unknow something. But yeah.
Yeah. So I did want to give a shout out real quick. We have so I just had sent it to you, CDank, a list of guilds that have cleared KT. So to my knowledge, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, hardcore servers have almost been out for 1 year. They released September something last year. I don't remember the exact thing, but only 4 guilds have cleared Kel'Thuzad in hardcore WoW on official servers.
Dead game.
So those guilds are, well, no, that's the crazy part, right? CDank, you just said you were surprised at how many people were playing hardcore. Like when you logged
It's
in.
hard to do. It's hard to do.
KT is hard to take down. So that the guilds that have done it are Hardcore Elite, Frontier, Purpose, and there's one other guild, if anyone knows the name, but they just broke up. This guild that just broke up was one of the other ones.
It's the Fortuna one.
What's that?
Fellowship of the
Pops?
Bling. He said Fellowship of the Bling.
No. Not that one. Where is it at? I had a list. Oh man, someone was so nice to have sent me a list from the Defy Spelger Discord. Oh, here it is. Purpose and Petrion God. Petrion God killed KT. Now, and then there was one on Horde side that cleared KT. Not a single guild on Skull Rock has done it yet, to my knowledge.
Yet.
How
Only
crazy
thanks,
is that
November.
though? Like, so we used to talk about back in the day how hardcore WoW reminded everyone of like the old school, like 2004 version of World of Warcraft. Because current vanilla in 2019, when it came out again, was like, it was solved. People, you know, had gone and played on private servers. They had figured it out. They clear all the raids, no problem. And it became more about like, oh, can you parse 99s? Then it became about like enjoying the world, and like hardcore brought people back into that. So it's interesting seeing a server exist, a hardcore server in World of Warcraft 2024 hasn't seen KT die yet. And it's not because people aren't playing on it. Like I'm playing on Skull Rock. There's people playing on it all over the place. It's just crazy that it's hard, man. It's hard to get a guild together. It's hard to raid 40-man raids, and it's harder to do it in hardcore where you lose people all the time. They die to something stupid, and you know, your raid roster boss is even harder than it normally is.
Yeah, and then you got multiple people who are, you know, creating accounts to try and grief your guild. That's the whole other
Yeah,
thing.
shoutouts Tiny Violin.
And Drexel.
Did Drexel? I don't think Drexel was ever proved to have actually griefed the guild, though. I don't think that was a planned grief.
Yeah, really, that's it's pretty sick, bro. Like those guys are tight. Mr. Tiny and Drexel, I think they're homies.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. This is the topic that everyone seems to be talking about. Now, this is something that I'm interested in too. I want to get everyone in chat's opinion. So chat, get your typing fingers ready. OnlyFans. Pops, do you want to describe to us or to the people in chat that might not know what OnlyFans is?
Well, OnlyFans is a hardcore guild of streamers, basically. That's what it is.
And are they streamers that normally play World of Warcraft?
Not all of them. Some of them, yes. But not all of them. A lot of them on the first go round, it was their first time playing World of Warcraft. So it was extremely interesting for a lot of people. Plus, it was new content for their streams. And most people banked against them actually killing Oni and killing Rag. Everybody, I would say the odds were 98% that they were going to die, in which they achieved not a single death. I mean, they achieved those two objectives without a single death. But it is a streamer guild, and it was designed for streamers to have some content, some new content, and to try some different games. Now, you know, that being said, OnlyFans did have some issues.
Yes, they did. We'll get into the issues that they had some of the first time around, but it is interesting to me. C-Dank, did you have something that you wanted to say on OnlyFans before I elaborate? Or are you good?
I think Pop's got it, man.
Perfect. So it's interesting to me, though, that in the World of Warcraft community space, it seems like, and someone in chat can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if you guys have noticed the same thing, but like it seems like classic WoW gamers kind of look down on streamers. Like they don't like streamers on their servers. They don't like streamers, you know, doing certain things like cringe things, or like they call people sellouts, or they're like, oh, they're just doing it for the content, or like, you're right. Like I feel like the classic WoW community in terms of players that play the game don't necessarily like streamers, but the ones that are in chat on Twitch usually are the ones that are okay with streamers.
I think it's not as big of a stigma anymore. I think that a lot of people really loved OnlyFans, and maybe that's just a bias from the people that I've interacted with. But I kind of remember that negativity more from the old school days, more so than Defias Pillager and OnlyFans. But yeah,
it's interesting because I think Pointy said there's a difference between players who stream and streamers who play, right? So you've got like every guild has that guy who streams your raids, right? And then everyone in the guild watches the raid and they use it to improve or whatever. That's cool. But then there's streamers who like play WoW. Like it's weird because I feel like OnlyFans is something most people in the classic WoW community would like scoff and cringe at. The idea of like a bunch of people playing WoW and not really caring about like the stuff that most WoW players care about, but they're doing things for content, or they're doing things that are stupid or cringy for content. I feel like the classic community doesn't like that. And I could be wrong.
I think the classic community doesn't like the streamers and the attention they bring. Because if you get a big streamer like Asmon who decides today he's going to go play Classic, and he picks a server and he gets on there, all of a sudden that server is flooded with all new players, because there's going to be 1,000 people that make a tune because they want to be playing with Asmon or they want to be seen with Asmon. And let's say he actually continues to play and he continues to level it up. Well, there goes all the nodes, there goes all the herbs, there go the prices in the auction house. It throws off the whole economic structure of it. It throws off the whole balance of the server, I will say. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, and in some respects, I feel pretty bad for poor Asmon. He can't actually go on and enjoy the game anymore. He just can't play Warcraft and enjoy it
Yeah, I mean, he'd have to play it
because
off stream
so
if he
many,
wanted
yeah,
to.
right. And he has to name his character something other than Asmon because so many people come on and flood him.
Hmm.
They also don't like people that disregard the rules and things like that. I don't think they're bothered by somebody doing something cringe like taking on Hogger at level 8. Who cares? You know, you're going to die and you're going to keep going or whatever. Maybe you get it.
Hmm.
What they're upset about is the people who violate the rules, the people who buy gold and buy the best gear out of the auction house and then drive the prices up. Or they get into the GDKPs and they've got all this gold so they can win everything they want in the GDKPs. That's not a natural progression of Warcraft. That's skirting the rules,
Yeah,
as you say.
yeah,
And
definitely.
we know it's impossible to ban these gold sellers. It's impossible. It's like trying to say you put your picture out on the internet and now you want it back. Too bad. Somebody's got it
True,
somewhere.
true.
Once it's
Yeah.
out there, it's out there. It's never going to go away. You know, and again, you know, and I know we'll get into this probably later with OnlyFans, but the mob tagging. I mean, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, every time you look, there was somebody getting mob tagged.
I
It
wasn't
was
a big fan of the mob tagging at all.
People don't like that. People want to see you play the game, play it with integrity, and play it honestly, ethically, and respect it. Respect the economy, respect the balance.
Yeah, I think for the listeners that don't know, by the way, if you're listening to this and you might be asking yourself, what is mob tagging? The idea is that you get a bunch of people that are higher level than you, that are not in your group, killing an enemy after you hit it once so that you can get experience without actually fighting. And you level incredibly fast by doing that. So the first time around in OnlyFans, a lot of the streamers had viewers, and those viewers would come in and they would get a bunch of mobs together and kill them all, and then the streamer would level incredibly fast because they kept dying because they're not World of Warcraft players. They didn't really know what they were doing. And Seedank created that.
Well, it was a group of friends. But like I got the inspiration from Graze actually. Graze is the first person I saw doing crab tagging, and then
good old Graze.
And then it was me and a group of friends with like
yeah, Graze walked so Seedank could run. We'll put it that way.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, we had the original like group of taggers. I remember that was the thing. It was Scribbles and Frost and a couple of people, and who else? FIFO and yeah.
So the thing that I'm trying to figure out how I can word this in a way that, because it's really hard for me to formulate this thought for some reason into words. I feel like there is this like vibe, I guess, around Classic WoW, where someone like, let's say Cargoes, we all know Cargoes. Someone like Cargoes is a streamer, but he kind of like praises himself as someone who is a purveyor of the game, right? He's like a keeper of the community, like he's a denizen of Classic WoW. He likes to cultivate the Classic WoW community in whatever the best way he views is possible. Someone like Cargoes, I could see really not liking OnlyFans. And the reason for that is because OnlyFans kind of takes a dump on what most like sweaty Classic WoW players value about the game. And it makes it all about goofy, cringy, silly, funny, fun content. That I think the majority of Twitch viewers, in terms of Classic WoW or not, like people who don't watch WoW, I think that they would love to watch those streamers do goofy, crappy stuff in WoW, even if they don't really know what's going on the stream while they're playing WoW. So it's this weird thing where I thought the first time OnlyFans came around, it was going to get blasted by the community and a ton of people were going to just start hating on it. But that wasn't the case. Did they?
Well, I mean, these are
yeah.
a bunch of. Go ahead, Pops.
I mean, I put out YouTube videos here and there of hardcore, and you wouldn't believe the negative comments people write me. You know, like, "Oh, did OnlyFans teach you that?" Or,
Oh,
"Hey, is
geez.
OnlyFans going to do this again?" Or and things of that nature. There are a lot of people, you know, and this is why I said what I said at the meeting. Is this time around, if you're going to do it right.
Yep.
Do
No
it with
cheating.
integrity, and let's do this right. You know,
Pops was the one who stood up for that, and I think you started the movement toward that that direction, which is like it's where we're heading now.
well, we are and we aren't, you know,
Mhm.
and God knows if I speak my mind, I'll probably get tossed out of OnlyFans because I speak my mind.
People love it, Pops, though. That's the thing. Like,
But
everyone loves it
you
when you
look at
speak your mind.
this list Sadako sent in of the 10 rules.
Nah, get him
And
out of here.
for those of you who aren't familiar there, Sadako has come up with a proposed list of 10 rules. And the first rule is that people can only group with players 1 through 59. That's not what we agreed in the meeting.
Yep.
Soda said it was going to be a solo self-found run. That means we don't group except for dungeons. Now all of a sudden we bent that rule. We're going to allow grouping.
Yep.
The minute you allow grouping, you open up mob tagging. And then he gets on to the point where, well, we're going to authorize certain people to mob tag if they die to a DC or something like that, or the council approves it. No, the rules are you die, you're dead, you start over. Why are we breaking the rules again? Here we go. We brought up mob tagging, but it's okay in certain situations. It's not okay ever if you want to impress people and follow the rules. The problem with mob tagging. Here's one of my biggest beefs about it. You die at 45. You get mob tagged back up to 45. You get twice the loot you had when you leveled by yourself. You get a whole lot more gear that you get from mob tagging that you normally wouldn't get. You probably get more blues, more greens, possibility of a purple because you got mob tagged. You're killing more mobs, hence your chances increase of getting better gear. So now we're going to agree to let Jim Smith mob tag up to 45. Well, now Jim Smith is better geared than he was. He didn't suffer anything. Christ, he made out in the deal. He's got more gold and everything else.
Here's the
That's not
thing.
ethically correct.
I totally agree with you, but so I can explain Soda's perspective a little bit here. The thing is, like, at the end of the day, this is a content guild, right? And what he wants, you know, what at level 60 is for a bunch of like big name people to be playing together, especially big name people who are not the best at World of Warcraft. So like if he has to bend the rules slightly to make sure that XQC is there, or you know to make sure that people who have a lot of viewers are there, like Mizkif, etc. would be a great example, and Emmy, you know, then what you to him like that's fine because you know it's the whole point of the guild anyways, is for these guys to be playing together. So I understand that, but I think there are better ways to do this. So in the add-on you had duos, right? You had duos and trios. So like maybe instead of mob tagging for Mizkif, why don't we just like assign him like a sweat coach who can like log on with him every day? Okay, I'm gonna hold your hand and take you through the game so that you don't get yourself killed. You know, like I feel like that would be a better move. Yeah.
I tell you what, everybody who's going to be an OnlyFans, poll your viewers. Ask them if they want to watch you level in a group and you being allowed to get mob tagged or you following the rules. 98% of your viewers are going to say, we want to see you do it and do it right. We don't want to see you get mob tagged. We don't want to see you group. We want to see you group for dungeons only. And okay, maybe we allow things like the messenger so that 50 people aren't backed up trying to kill the messenger. I bet you, and you try this in your streams, go in there and set up a poll. Are you in favor of mob tagging with OnlyFans? Are you in favor of grouping with OnlyFans outside of dungeons? And 98% of the people are going to tell you this is what they want to view.
Mhm.
They want to view these guys play the game and try to play it legitimately. They're not on there to watch. Nobody goes into hardcore to watch somebody successfully make it. The joy of hardcore is watching people die.
True.
Shit, that's the whole premise of this show.
Yeah.
F's and chat.
Hey, why do you think we're here? I was gonna say, this is what we do. It's tough because I see where Soda's coming from with it. I don't. You know me, I'm against mob tagging. Actually, my hunter on Defias Pillager is named Mob Tag is Lame because I hated mob tagging. I'm completely against it, but I also understand what C-Dank was saying about the perspective of the content guild, whatever. And you know what it is? End of the day, it's Soda's call, and he's going to do what he wants, and we're going to play by those rules, and we're going to have fun with it for a couple months, and then it's going to go poof, and OnlyFans might come back next year. You never know. But here's my answer, okay? If we have a fresh server, we don't have any mob tagging because no one has characters to mob tag with. If we have a fresh server, everyone has to level on their own, at least for the first, I don't know, 3 weeks until some people start getting high level characters.
You mean at least for the first 4 days? Come on,
Yeah,
we
true.
got people
Yeah, true.
we got sweats in that guild who are going to get 1 to 60 in the first 5 days.
Yeah, but those sweats won't level. They're not going to go back and mob tag for Mizkif. Like Ompi's not going to hit 60. K Super's not going to hit 60 and go back and mob tag for somebody.
We need another meeting, and we need to talk out the merits of this stuff. For sure.
There's definitely going to be another meeting. I have no doubt of that. First of all,
Yeah.
And and I'll go back to Winky's point. Soda is going to make the decisions. And as a guild member in the guild, I am going to abide by his decisions. Although I have a right to express my opinion, pro and con. But as a good guild member, I will abide by his decisions. My job as a member of the guild is to support my guild leader and his decisions. And I've said this multiple times on my stream. And it was just, I'll go back to when we had the in real life meeting that I attended, and somebody was trying to put the value on people, and I said, well, where do you go after you're done streaming? If you are in a guild and you want to support the guild and you're going to raid, take it to a member of your guild. That's how you support the guild. I never made it to raiding, but you can betcha I sent free action potions to Soda, and I sent other potions I could make on my herbalist to Soda, hopefully to help support the raid. That was my job. If I didn't hit 60, was to support those above me to make the guild successful.
Yeah, I agree. This time around, it's going to be very interesting because we are enforcing rules like you can only trade within the guild, which is going to be interesting because we're going to have things like Fangsley that aren't going to be able to trade items. They're not like our guild is going to have to grind and craft their own elixirs, flasks. Any flask of petrification that's going to be used is going to have to be built in-house. After we have to find the recipe. C-Dank, I think you're muted, by the way, or you're just not talking and pretending to talk.
Oh, it's never gonna drop. We're never gonna see it. We're never getting Petries. I'm so happy we agreed to this.
Ever gonna get Petries ever?
No, for like the 2-3 months we're playing, we're never gonna find it. There's no doubt.
It's gonna be really scary. I hope you guys know that, right? And so this is another thing, Pops. You and me, C-Dank. Let's be real, we're not like thousands of viewer streamers. There's a good chance that we would not be in a raid in OnlyFans if there's people that are larger streamers ready to fill those spots. And that's fine. That's the point of the guild. Pops, you're definitely getting in.
Pops is S tier. He's getting in. Yeah.
Everyone loves Pops. But hey, I was S tier. But I'm not getting in. But without Petries, and with like, if we actually solo self found our way up, there's actually a chance that we get the raid. I'm just gonna say it because there's a good chance some of these people straight up never get to 60. Nope.
Weren't you in the original raid?
Nope. I did all the raiding with Frontier back then, and then when they cleared KT, I took a break until OnlyFans started, and then I didn't.
Did you raid with OnlyFans when they did Oni and Molten Core?
Nope.
Oh, I know C-Dank did.
Yeah, C-Dank did.
We all remember his great pulling of the next mob.
Well, and then Mizkif took it upon himself.
He wanted to hold court in the middle of the raid.
The molten core was so funny, dude. I was in shambles at that. I was being on trial, but no, that was funny. The raid was pretty anticlimactic, to be honest. Because like, first off, we only did one, like one really big one, and then like there was no deaths at all, and it just we over prepared for too long. It was a walk in the park, and we're not doing that this time.
Right,
So
and
I think,
Yeah.
some of the anticlimacticness too goes back to gold buying and being able to afford the best gear off the auction house. So a lot of people went in there, in the best gear they could buy.
And we're
And
not
and
using the
not
auction
just
house
off
this
the
time
auction house,
either.
but not just the auction house, but from our GDKPs. They're buying all the pieces on the on the
Yeah, so
GDKPs too.
so for
The
anyone,
CG gear and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, you guys went in, you were over geared for it, but and I was really happy to see no deaths. I'll be honest with you, and I streamed it, and I was glad to see because I'm a member of the guild, and I want our guild to do well.
so here's some context for people who may not know. I know that there's a lot of listeners of this show that probably don't follow along with this stuff, but OnlyFans bought so much gold last year with their credit cards as a guild that Blizzard Entertainment straight up contacted Sodapoppin and literally said, "We are about to ban your entire guild if you don't come out with it on stream, say you're sorry, and say you'll never buy gold again." and Soda had to do it. And look, I get it. They should have banned people. Absolutely, they should have banned people. Because people that stream don't deserve preferential treatment over people who don't. But you also gotta realize Sodapoppin and a guild full of people that have millions of viewers are some of the best marketing Blizzard can ever have for their classic WoW video game. So I think Blizzard was willing to give them a slap on the wrist and say, stop. And publicly make it stop. Like very publicly say, we watch this. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. I'm just saying I think that's what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Now, OnlyFans was supposed to happen in October. It has now been pushed to November because Soda made a very ominous post in Discord. What do you guys think about Soda saying that there is a very legitimate reason to push from October to November? Why do you think that is?
Go ahead, Pops.
I think there'll be a lot of speculation that Soda has inside knowledge of a new server coming. Or Blizzard's going to finally give us a new hardcore server. But they said to him, look, we can't do it in October. We got too much going on with creating the anniversary, the War Within. But if you can wait till November, we'll drop you a server. That's one speculation. The second speculation,
continue. I'm sorry.
Possibly, is that they're going to drop Classic Plus, and it would be more interesting maybe to level hardcore in a Classic Plus, where people don't know everything. Where even guys like me who love Classic and Christ, I can level 1 to 60 without a guide and without a map. I've done it so often. We won't know everything. We won't know all the quests. And that's another speculation. And of course, last but not least, is maybe with the anniversary coming out mid-October, maybe they said, look, we're going to drop our anniversary edition mid-October, and everybody's going to want to play that. It looked pretty good in the video. And so they're like, you really don't want to start this till a little bit of that hubbub dies down. But whatever it is, Soda's got his reasons, and I'm sure they're valid, and I'm sure they're legit. He wouldn't do that because he's chewing at the bit to go.
Oh, he really wants to play. He was talking about doing it in September. Yeah, he was saying the other day he really wanted to start like now.
It has to be damn good.
Yeah,
it has to be a damn good treat.
Yeah, C-Dank, what do you think? What do you think? Why do you think it's pushed out?
I think they're releasing WoW 2, and we're getting ready to go play WoW 2.0. They're gonna delete retail, and we're all gonna move to the new World of Warcraft that they've been working on for the last 10 years. And man, it's gonna be really exciting.
Yeah, you think that?
No, I don't. But it's a fresh server. It's common sense. Like you can read between the lines. I would bet a gajillion dollars on it. Like yeah.
So here's my concern. At first, I read Soda's post and I said that's got to be a fresh server. They got to be making a fresh server. But here's what I was thinking. I don't know if Blizzard would do a hardcore fresh server without also doing a classic era fresh server.
Oh, they're doing both, 100%. I would even speculate. That they're perhaps doing a self-found server. There's some kind of like enhanced rule set.
CNEG is always muted. You understand? You know?
How am I muted?
Or am I muted?
Are you muted? Is anyone muted?
Oh shit, I am muted. What'd you say? Sorry. I was blaming you for my problems.
Oh, why'd you mute me?
No, my headset died.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I turned it back on.
We're definitely getting era and hardcore side by side because people would be fucking furious if they did not get a fresh era server.
So that goes with what I was saying. So I don't think. Oh, go ahead, Pops.
What if they're dropping TBC hardcore and TBC classic era?
That would be nasty.
We'll have a whole lot more raids.
Oh, I would love that.
We'll be going 1 to 70 instead of 1 to 60.
I would love it.
Oh, I would love that.
We can get into Karazhan, and I love.
Yeah. Hey, put one in chat if you guys would play TBC official hardcore servers in November. Would you do it? One in chat if you would.
Imagine hardcore Nether Spite, dude. Okay, like that would be.
Dude, hardcore Gruul. Hardcore like Magtheridon.
Magtheridon, that's the one that's gonna be hardest.
Tough,
yeah,
dude. So, So okay,
just getting 1 to 70.
Oh god. So I don't know if it's going to be anything server related, and the reason being is because I don't see them ever shooting Season of Discovery in the foot with a hardcore, because if there's an era fresh or a hardcore fresh, Season of Discovery will have 0 players after that. Like it's on
live support already.
It's on live support, but they have future phases planned, and the future phases for Season of Discovery are going to guaranteed go up to Nax. Right now we're in phase 4. The only raids that are out are Molten Core. Like they've got all of the end game content, all of the big Season of Discovery changes other than like phase 1, like with the runes and stuff. They're not out yet. We're not seeing what changes they're making, if they're adding any additional brand new raids, if they're doing any, like Season of Discovery has, sure, it's on live support right now. People are raid logging, but that's how everything goes with World of Warcraft. Everyone plays it, they get it on raid log, and then they release the next phase. I don't know if they would come out with a classic fresh, whether it's era or hardcore, while Season of Discovery has any phases planned.
They will, because SOD sucks, and they know it. You just look at the numbers, and there's nothing that's going to revive SOD. Like the most they can muster, like this big phase 4 level 60 thing, like that was supposed to bring all these people back. It barely even registered, like on the population meter. Like it just nothing that they release.
They've admitted in interviews that they're using SOD as a template, a learning ground for Classic Plus. So why would they just stop that dead in the water?
I'm not saying they're going to stop it.
Back to Classic Era.
They're not going to stop it dead in the water, but they realize it's not a priority, anymore. It's not what people really want because nobody's playing it. So,
well, I think people are. I think they're just raid logging. I honestly do. I think that Kata and SOD are both still very profitable and doing well in terms of Blizzard's. Like looking at it from Blizzard's eyes, I think that they're still happy with Kata and SOD. But from the player base's eyes, we think that they're dead in the water. But we also are hardcore players, right? Like we look at things a little bit differently. We always have.
Yeah. Well, you want to bet?
I'd be willing. Actually, I'd be willing to place a bet. You want to do 5 subs?
I was gonna say $100.
I don't have $100. I'll do 5 subs.
Okay. You want to borrow $100 so you make the bet?
No, because I know you'll make me pay you back with interest.
Okay. 5 subs.
I don't think it's going to be any kind of fresh server. 5 subs.
You're insane. I'll do it for sure.
You know what I think it's going to be? I think it's going to be OTK either doing an event in October or OTK doing something to help OnlyFans massively but they have to do it in November. I think that this is an OTK thing and not a Blizzard thing. And the reason I think that is because the same day that Soda put out that news of us pushing it out to November is the same day Tips Out joined the Discord server. It's a week after Tips Out had just tweeted that there's going to be a very large event potentially in the Classic space very soon. And I think that there's either going to be a huge event or a big reason. Maybe OTK wants to allot resources to making a website or a fantasy draft type thing for OnlyFans, or some kind of tech issue that they can handle. Maybe it needs more time. They're going to bust this out. We're going to start in November, and we're all going to be better off for it.
We'll see.
I think that that's more likely.
Yeah, I think, and I take Soda at his word, that if he says we're all going to be better off in November, we're all going to be better off in November.
Yeah, I agree. And I want it to be a fresh server. Don't get me wrong. Man, I want a fresh server really bad. But you never know. You never know. That being said, I do want to do some housekeeping, you guys, with Hardcore WoW, within the Hardcore WoW space. We have several events approaching. And these are things that are accessible to anyone who's listening to this, anyone who's watching it on Twitch, anyone who's a part of the hardcore community can participate. There's 2 events coming up very soon. Seedank, you're hosting a Mock Gorah tournament.
I sure am.
Do you want to give them the spiel on your Mock Gorah tournament?
Oh yeah. Everybody can participate. It's going to be just a quick 1 day, 3 hour to prep sort of thing. So basically, last year, Blizzard hosted something like this. They called it Mock Gorah Madness for the variety show. I got to participate in it. It was hella fun. Essentially, it's just you make a self-found character, and then you have 3 hours to prepare. However you want to do that. You're from level 1. So if you want to spend that whole time leveling as high as you can possibly get, go ahead and do that. If you think it's worthwhile to go and level engineering, maybe that's a worthwhile thing for you. If there's like some harder quests to do that can like give you like maybe a few more points of stamina, and you think that'll be better for you, maybe go try to do that. Just whatever you want to do with your 3 hours. You know all you have to do is show up alive in front of me at the end of the timer, and then we're all gonna go and have a 1v1 tournament, and a last man standing sort of situation there. So that's gonna be fun. Just a 1 day event. Everybody's invited. We got some streamers who are participating. It should be very, very fun. And that's gonna be later in September. I think it was after TwitchCon, like maybe the 28th or something. I can't remember, but
okay.
we agreed on some
like
date.
the last weekend of September is
something
what you're
like
thinking.
That. Yeah,
somewhere around there.
Yeah, somewhere around there. You guys will know.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So then, other than that, we have Only Black Smoke, and a lot of people, you guys, if you're listening, you probably know who Only Black Smoke is. If you don't know who Only Black Smoke is, they are, in my opinion, the king of the behind the scenes of the hardcore community. Only Black Smoke has had their fingers, their tendrils, in almost every event that you have ever seen in Hardcore WoW. Whether it's a Hardcore Cup, whether it's the Hardcore All-Stars from last year where we announced official Hardcore on the last of it, whether it was one of the Grays for Days' Dungeon Cups, whether it was a dueling tournament, Only Black Smoke is literally the only person that can wrangle their ADHD enough to help on the back end of every single thing that has happened in the hardcore community. It's crazy. So Only Black Smoke is hosting Hardcore All-Stars 1.5. And that's going to be a dungeon speedrun tournament where teams that have already signed up in groups of 5 are going to be speedrunning as many dungeons as they can, starting, I think, level at 24. Is that right, Burning? Level 24? And they're getting as far as they can go, as fast as they can go. And it's going to be incredible. That's going to be on, let me find the exact date for you guys. I will be there myself. I'm going to be casting the event with Only Black Smoke. Last I heard, I think there was 8 or 9 teams that had signed up. And I'm going to find the date and time for you guys right now. Let me make sure that the cameras are good. Okay, so announcements. So that's going to be at 9 a.m. on, I think that's the September one. Where's the Where are the dates? Why is it not on the flyer? I'm so confused. Burning, do you know what date this is on? September 14th. That's it. Yes. Thank you, Reizoku. So September 14th is when that's happening. That's going to be Saturday, a week from now, a week from the time of this recording, so the 14th. Very excited for that. It's going to be awesome. Also, I can announce personally, because this is my event. I don't know how many of you guys remember, I run an event called Winky Wonka's Challenge Factory. And that is a fun event that we usually throw together where I host a speed leveling tournament where your goal is to get to as high of a level as you can in 4 hours. And within that 4 hours, I throw challenges at everybody participating. Things like you now have to run backwards, or you have to abandon the next quest that you have, or delete your bags, or delete your weapons, or turn your graphics down to 720p. We are going to be hosting another Winky Wonka's tournament. The Winky Wonka Challenge Factory is going to be October... what's the day? October 26th. And we're going to be doing it for my birthday. So I'll get more stuff out in terms of that at a future time. I'll get the flyers out. I'll get everything made. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. If you want to participate in it, it's open to everyone. I don't know what the prize pool is going to be, but it's going to be really, really fun. The Winky Wonka Challenge Factory is always a good time. It's always lots of laughs. It's not very serious. It's just pretty dope. It's pretty fun to do. Other than that, though, I'm not sure. Pops, do you know of any events coming up? Are you hosting any events coming up?
No, I don't have that talent. I leave that to you and Grace.
I know Grace wants to do some more of his dungeon drafts, which are always a good time.
Oh man, those are just the best.
They're so fun. I know that everyone wants Hardcore All-Stars 2, the big one. We have to work with Only Black Smoke. We have to get with Sarth and Jordy to get that one going again. And yeah, Gray's died today, so his schedule is wide open. So, Pops, I don't have death clips prepared, and there's a reason for that. As a lot of you guys know, I've been trying to veer away from death clips on F's in Chat for some time. And it's not because I don't like watching death clips with you guys. I do think they're beneficial. I think they're exciting, and they're a good learning material. The problem is I can't put the podcast on podcast networks because there's no video. So people that are listening in their car, people that are etc., they can't watch the death clips, so they have no idea what we're talking about. So I want to try something today. Today was a weird F's in Chat where we're getting kind of caught up on what F's in Chat is, reiterating why we do the podcast, right? We're getting it set up for the groundwork because we're going to be running F's in Chat every other Friday, probably at least until December. Like all through OnlyFans, all through whatever. If there's a fresh server, we're going to be, of course, going pretty hard on that. It's going to be really cool. So we're going to continue doing that. But I think I want to do death clips in the way that, like, if it pertains to the topic at hand, we can watch death clips, or at the end of the show, we can, air quotes, formally close the show out, and I'll edit that as the show for the podcast networks. And then we can take death clip recommendations from chat, or I can have some prepared. So like whatever you guys want. This show is not for me. It's for everyone else. It's for the viewers. It's for the co-host. It's for everyone other than me. So whatever you guys think the best way of going about doing that would be, we can do. So leave feedback. If you like, join the Discord. Let me know what you guys want. Do you want death clips at the very end, like chat submission, or do you want me to curate a list like I always used to do? And of course, I'll probably always have a couple to recommend anyway. But that being said, I want to watch Seedank and Grays die.
It was a terrible day.
Wait. I think we missed out on one very important thing with OnlyFans.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Bring it. Go ahead, Pops.
And that's the idea that Soda has now for the quizzes to assign races.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
For the sweats for class, and of course the idea of the houses, like in Harry Potter there, where the Taurens will feud with the undead, the Taurens will feud with the orcs, the Taurens will feud with the stuff, and his idea of the point system and all that. I'm psyched. I think it's a wonderful idea, and I think it'd be a great time to talk about that.
Sure, yeah. So yeah, I mean, as Pops just said, there's going to be a quiz where everyone has to take it in the entire guild. It's going to assign you what race you're playing. I'm not sure what class. I don't know if it'll pick your class, but the idea is you'll get assigned a race, and that race will basically be your quote unquote Harry Potter house, and you will have points based on like the orcs will have points, the trolls will have points, the taurens will have points, and whoever's in the points lead gets to roll 1 to 100 on loot drops. Whoever's the second place gets to roll 1 to 95, and so on. And so if your race is not doing well, you're probably never winning any loot. We'll just put it that way. It's going to be hilarious. And you know what I like about that, Pops? It gives people that are not in the guild something to go off of. If they're playing alongside OnlyFans, or if they're playing hardcore, they can join in on some of the trash talking of the races. So like if you're an orc and like you run into a bunch of other orcs that are in Orgrimmar, those other orcs, if they're aware of what's going on with OnlyFans, they're going to be able to be like, yo, what up, man? And they're going to take you in as like, no, you're one of us. And they're all talk
pride.
shit. Yeah, it's going to be like the orc pride, right? Like, so it's like it gets people that are not in the guild directly to be able to feel like they're involved in some way with what's going on in OnlyFans, which is really fun.
I can't wait for the deranged people to start making the slurs, because that's going to be my favorite part, I think. I've been working on a few myself, you know.
Give us an example of a World of Warcraft slur.
Sure. Right. So the orcs are peon-brained knuckle draggers. You know, we got the trolls are dirty tusk rats.
I do like the tusk rat. The tusk rat is a good name.
Yeah.
If I make a troll, I kind of want to name it Tusk Rat. That's a good name.
No, absolutely not. No, you can't. Sorry, that's mine.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. That's fair. What race do you think you're going to get on the quiz?
Well, okay, if you've ever seen Harry Potter, the Sorting Hat sort of takes your desire into consideration. It'll sort of, get a general idea of where you should be placed, but it'll also listen and say, hey, where do you want to go? So I'm hoping to get anything but troll. Just I like literally like Harry Potter and that first book, just anything but Slytherin, just not Slytherin, yeah.
All right, Pops, what do you think you'll get?
I'm hoping I get Tauren. I'm thinking I'm 6'1". I mean, come on, look at this.
Yeah.
All this muscle.
Pure meat.
That's it. I got to be beefy, so I got to get into the Tauren.
All right. I personally want to either be a troll or an undead, because I really like undead character models. I'll want anything but Tauren, Pops. I'm sorry, I'm the biggest Tauren hater. I always have been. I remember one time I rolled Tauren, and I actually enjoyed it, and I was afraid to say it because I had spread so much Tauren hate over my years of playing WoW that I didn't want to admit that it was actually kind of fun. But I would be fine with whatever class race combo I get, to be honest. I really don't want to play mage. But other than that, I'm happy with just about anything. What class do you guys want to play if you could pick?
I want to play
warrior.
Shaman.
Shaman? Okay. The C-Dank can't play warrior.
Yeah, I can.
You're a
I'm
warrior
really good at
player.
Yeah, I'm sick at warrior.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to play it because it's your main class. I can't play warlock because it's my main class.
Watch me. What's he gonna do? Kick me out?
What would you get if you didn't get warrior?
I kind of thought this through. So like, it depends on if the dance pad streams are working well, then I'll probably play Frost Mage because it's like I can still like parse with my feet. And then if the dance pad streams don't work out, then I'll just play a Resto Shaman and heal people.
There you go. I was gonna say I may not make it to 60, you guys. I know C-Dank's planning on doing the DDR pad for his character playthrough. I'm going full role player for OnlyFans. I'm going back to Timideus. I'm going to be turning my UI completely off. I'm going to have a hunger meter, a drink meter, and a stamina bar. And I'm not going to know how much health I have while I'm playing my character. And I am full role playing. The entire guild,
Timideus.
every guild meeting, I'm gonna be in Timideus mode, immersion, full RP, and it's gonna be terrible, and I might die a lot, but that's what I'm doing. So we'll see how that works out for me.
So who do you think is going to be first to hit 60?
K Super.
K Super without a doubt. Oh, like K Super plays too what do you want to say, like risky? He might
But
not actually.
If K Super can't play Hunter, I actually think Ompi gets level 60 first. Because if we're not allowed to play our mains, that means Tommy is not playing Mage. Ompi isn't playing Warrior, which means Ompi
Or
gets Hunter,
No,
or he can't play
nope.
either.
He can't play either. According to Soda, Ompi can't be a warrior or a hunter.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
just play
good.
Mage. Like I don't know.
He could play Mage.
Yeah.
I don't know
He did play
who
Mage and
actually would
Sod.
get to 60 first.
I'm just laying it out there. I think Graves will be within the top 10.
100%. You know, Grace
Purely
said
just
he
off
wasn't
not
going to go
sleeping.
hard. He said he wasn't going to go hard. He literally said,
Oh, really?
on OnlyFans, I'm going to take it real slow. Bro, no, you're not.
He's full of shit.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
Graves don't-
It's Grace doesn't
don't
have that.
slow.
He doesn't have it in his brain. Like he can't go slow on a new thing we're doing. You know, it's impossible. Tommy can't be Paladin. We're going Horde. He's playing.
Yeah.
Graves wants to play Shaman. He told me already. He wants to play He wants to play Tauren Shaman.
Yeah, he wants to play Ellie or Enhancement. I can't remember which.
Yeah, Tommy is coming back, by the way. Tommy will be playing in OnlyFans.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so is Tactics, of course. It's interesting. It's interesting to think about actually, because you can't play your main class. I don't know who would get 61st. I guarantee you, I'm going to be way late to the. If I continue the Timideus RP, I may never hit 60. So I might have to turn it off after a couple deaths if I'm starting to feel real behind. But we do have a lot of new faces joining OnlyFans this time too. I know that April Kit Kat joined, so she'll be leveling in OnlyFans. Oradar is going to be in OnlyFans. Tuna Tornado is going to be in OnlyFans. There's going to be a lot of OG hardcore players this time around, which is exciting. It's very exciting. Yeah, Tuna Tornado is going to be in OnlyFans. Some of you act surprised, but Tuna knows Soda really well, so I wasn't surprised at all. Tuna raided with Soda in Classic WoW and on the beta.
Oh yeah, speaking of Soda, have you heard the story of when I first met him?
No, yeah, tell us the story, Pops.
All right, so when OnlyFans had their in real life meeting where everybody had to cook something out of the WoW cookbook, I actually went. What a great time I had. So I pull up on the bike, up on the Harley, and
Hell yeah.
there's Soda. He's getting out of his Jeep. And so I went down because Miz lives on a very steep hill. So I went to the bottom to turn around, came back up, parked the bike, and I brought some Diet Pepsis with me because they all seem to like Mountain Dew, and I prefer Diet Pepsi. I'm taking them out of the backpack, the touring pack on the back of the Harley,
Mm-hmm.
and I dropped one right at Soda's feet, and it split open. So I was soda popping to soda popping.
Yeah, did you plan
What a
that,
weird
Pops?
synchronicity. That's perfect.
Did you plan that? You had to have planned that, right?
No, didn't plan it at all.
That's hilarious. I love that. That's great. I hope that we do if we do another IRL meeting, I might fly out for it. Unironically, if they do another IRL OnlyFans meeting, I might fly out there just to.
There's gonna be meetings, 100%.
I would wear a furry suit too. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, Wink, you always got a place to stay. I got 2 extra bedrooms.
Well, now I can't not go. Now I gotta be there. Because we also have Sardaco and Grace for days in Texas.
Oh yeah, they're a lot closer than I am.
Oh, well,
I'm
yeah, but
about-
you have the motorcycles. Do you have 2 Harleys or 1?
I just have 1, but I could probably find you one to ride.
Yeah, if you want to, okay, I don't want to put you on the spot here, Pops, but you know me, I am a Harley rider, been riding my whole life. If you could get me a Harley for that weekend and I fly out, we could both ride out together. That would be a check off the bucket list. Ride Harleys with Pops. That would be sick.
I'm pretty sure. I know some guys that own 4 and 5 of them.
Yeah, well, tell them if they got patches on their back, I'm very respectful. Because I don't want to, because I won't mess with them. I'll show all the respect to the boys. But other than that, you guys, I don't really have much else to do. We could watch. I want to watch C-Dank's death clip. I want to watch Grays' death clip. C-Dank, I haven't even seen your death clip yet. I have it pulled up though.
Yeah, I haven't seen Gray's death.
Here,
I
you guys
missed
want to
that
watch?
this morning.
Let's do Grays.
No, we're doing C-Dank's first.
You're doing C-Dank. We don't have to do. We don't have to look at mine.
Okay, we'll do Grays first because he bailed out on us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good idea. Where is the Grays death clip? Do I have it here? Why do I have 2 of yours?
Yeah. You should mod Keto Possum, by the way. He's a legendary mod.
So you think I'm never gonna mod someone you tell me to mod? I don't trust you enough.
You modded me though.
Yeah, I can unmod you. Want me to unmod you? I'll do it right now.
I'll take a VIP. Can I trade?
Yeah, you can trade here. Flash
Alright, sweet.
mod. You know, you used to be a mod here too.
I did?
Yeah, back in the day. And then you called me a bottom, and it became a thing. And now I took your mod away. All right, so let's see. Twitch VOD. No, clip. That's us, I think. Sorry, chat. You're seeing craziness going on. I'm fixing it right now. I promise. Okay. So that should be you guys should be able to see that, right? Pops and
yep.
So you think you can see the clip? All right, so this is what happened to Grays for Days today. Grays for Days is no longer here, and this is the reason why. He was leveling his character this morning, and he's died.
Up in what? Sophia's Naze?
Yeah, he's in Sophia. So is it Sophia? I don't.
Yeah,
it's up in Arathi.
Sophia's Naze. I know where he is. He's up there in Hillsbrad.
Yeah, North Hillsbrad. This is the character he leveled with gear that he only got from fishing. So it's crazy. I know a lot of people in the chat probably watch Grays, so they probably know what's going on. But it's crazy. The amount of fishing he puts, he probably has what? 70 hours played on this character?
More.
Oh, more than that.
More than that?
He was decked. He was decked out, dude, from head to toe.
He was pretty decked out. He got a lot of nice gear from fishing.
Yeah. So let's watch what happens here. Now, we're going to disregard what Grays was talking about because he was telling a story.
So I think Soraka was there. He talked to Soraka, right?
He was talking to all of us this morning. Yeah. And he was telling a story about a girl, what was her name? Brittany or Bethany or something, that punched him. And he got really mad at her. So he kicked her car and then he had to pay her $50 because he kicked their car. So he paid her $50 of like hush money. Bethany, that was her name. So here's what's happening.
Hush money.
Sue you. I don't even know how to sue you. I don't even want to sue you because I don't want to fucking get into it. Your bitch ass daughter started it first. So I paid her $50 and it was like hush money. My parents never found out. Her parents found out, but I didn't really give a fuck.
So familiar to me.
But all is well. Anyways, yeah, I found myself in the exact same situation.
So he target dummies and runs away.
I can't bandage.
He's doing great.
Is this every
He's
3
doing
seconds?
amazing.
He doesn't want to let it go.
No, he doesn't want to let it go.
Do something.
I understand that. That's my biggest fault.
Oh, I don't have a shield on. Bitch, fuck this game, man. Oh, shield wall saves me there.
He hit the bro fuck this game, man. That's what he said. So, Pops, you mentioned this is your problem. What is the problem that happened here, in your opinion?
Like you said, he all right, here's the target dummy.
Mm-hmm.
You're low on health. Get away. Just run away. Don't let, just run out of the aggro range. Reset. Go back in. But I do the same thing. Like,
and the same thing is you just get greedy. Yeah, instead of like running and being safe about it.
Right. He stopped. He stopped to bandage. And when he stopped to bandage, of course, they killed the target dummy, came after him, and he started fighting again. Had he just kept running, he would have been fine. And I am guilty of this all the time.
So what's the lesson to be learned here? The lesson to be learned on this clip specifically is
Run.
run. Like,
When
don't
you're in
get
over your
greedy.
head, run.
Yeah, don't get greedy. And I know this is kind of like a not very good clip to learn anything from, but we
Well,
have to show it because it's Graze.
I have a different perspective on this because I've died in a very similar way before.
Yeah, go ahead,
Right.
Seeding. What's your
The
perspective?
the famous meteor clip, you know,
Yes.
I'm legit I'm raging about some shit that happened like 2 years ago. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And like my head isn't in the game and I'm just autopiloting and I'm just playing like I'm mad, you know. And then I died because I'm not paying attention, I'm not listening, you know. And it's the same thing here. It's like all he's thinking about is how mad he is about this thing that happened in the past, and he's not here in the present with us, you know, playing the game. You know, and you have to I guess maybe recognize when you're getting emotional like that, and you know, say, okay, let me run this aggro off and not try to play right now because I'm clearly in a bad headspace.
I feel like he was in the middle of this story too, and it was a heated story, and Graze has been very animated on stream recently. And I think that maybe he was just autopiloting. Like, he was kind of like in autopilot mode and didn't really want to like he just wasn't thinking. Because
Where's hamstring on his bar?
dude, I was thinking that the first time I watched this clip. I was like, he could double hamstring and reset. But then it dawned on me, he wasn't even trying to reset. He thought he could win the fight if he goes back in. And it's just,
I think he thought he was going to get more ticks out of first aid than he actually got.
Yeah, I agree. And the problem is, Pops, here's the real issue. Playing like this, playing what Graze is doing right now, this is going to be really bad if it happens during OnlyFans. It's going to be really bad for Graze if he can't turn off the aggression button in his brain and like doesn't play hardcore the way hardcore is meant to be played.
It's not just Grace. It's going to be everybody.
It's going to be everybody.
And I get that he's telling a story and all that, because I remember dying on my priest to the Terran Mill Guards, and I know they're there. I mean, I know they're there. And that was the day Rav died. I don't know if you guys remember the day Rav died.
I do remember that.
And it came up in guild chat that Rav died, and I was so busy reading guild chat that I wasn't paying attention where I was going, and I walked right into the Death Guards.
You hate to see it. You absolutely hate to see it. It's never easy, you know. Hardcore WoW. We used to say back in the day that hardcore WoW requires you to focus for an absurd amount of time to not die. And I think over the years, so many people have done it. They've gotten so used to playing hardcore that the focus aspect kind of gets taken out of it a little bit. I mean, I catch myself slipping a lot. Like, I'll be leveling my naked, no weapon warrior off stream, like grinding, punching things all day. And it's so boring. I just turn on Netflix and I'm just punching things for 5 hours. But the chances of one of those mobs running away and pulling another mob and me not having enough focus to be like, oh shit, that's going to happen, or like thinking that might happen, that's going to get me killed one day.
You know what happened to me as a warrior player, as somebody who died a lot, you know, trying to, like, somebody with ADHD who would get distracted a lot. I learned this like habit, this skill of, I respect every single fucking mob that I fight, like no matter what. Like, I always think like there, like I could have like a 1 in a million string of misses here, and he can have a 1 in a million string of crits. And I just need to watch the bars and make sure this is mathing out the way that it should and doesn't go sideways. You know, at any moment here, this, as soon as you turn your brain off, that's when stuff goes wrong. But yeah, you have to respect everything that you fight, even if it's a Boar and Elwyn, or you know, two rogues in South Shore. But yeah.
All right, let's watch one more clip that we have. We have the Seedank. I don't even know what happened here, Seedank.
Dude, this whole stream was so fun. So the
this
first,
is a VOD, isn't it? There we go.
This is like this is a clip, but this is like attempt like 26 at this point, because I was trying to make something happen where I was mind controlling one boss to fight this boss. Right, I had the mechanical mind control trinket,
the gnomish mind control
universal,
cap, or the trinket,
universal remote.
Universal remote. Okay.
And it works on the bosses in here. So I was like, okay, if I have to solo this boss, I'll like have them go toe to toe. you know, and then after one dies, I'll come in and you know finish it up. And it was really hard to pull off because he kept on resisting it. But eventually, I got it to happen. But I still failed that attempt. Came back and tried to do it without that strat, and it was actually my best attempt. But I had tactics in the chat telling me about this really wacky crazy strat that was going to work super well, where you can actually mind control this boss and then run him into his own bombs, and then he'll take damage from them. So this is what happens when I try that.
All right, so here we go. We are, and by the way, to reiterate, you're playing a gnome warrior and you're soloing these dungeons.
I'm like level 36 here. I'm not even like over level.
You're like at level soloing the dungeons, and yeah, you're twinked to God knows what, but you have to be to even get close to this. So here we go.
I can mind control him into the bombs. I need maybe like 1 or 2 more bombs for this to be worth it. Trying to get every last second out of this death wish before I target dummy. Don't resist this. Don't resist this. Please don't resist this. Okay.
So you target dummy into mind control?
It's a lot of healing. It's really good. And then I wait for like 3 bombs.
Okay.
So I can like get a big explosion here. I don't have to do this, but tactics told me I could.
I'm not gonna lie though, this is like really good content, Seeding.
Okay, mind control now, for sure.
Okay, there it is. You grab the bomb.
Oh my God! What do I do? Panic.
Oh,
that wasn't supposed to happen. And look at this bomb. Look how far away it is, and it blows up.
Okay, let's watch this again. I'm gonna turn the sound off. I want to see where the wheels fall off here. So this is I'm great strategy, here. By the way. Yeah, you're doing amazing right here. Okay, so there's the 3 bombs, and then you go for the mind control.
Right here. Yep.
Now,
and they're supposed to blow up on him.
Your plan is to get near these bombs and they'll blow up on him.
Yeah.
Okay. But
however, no, they just don't do that at all. Tactics was in my chat. He was telling me, you don't need to wait for retaliation, bro. Just mind control him into the bombs. He'll take a ton of damage. I'm like, okay, this will look really cool on stream if I do this. And I tried and I died. So
Tactics is in chat right now saying actually the wall killed him. He would have had more distance to the bombs if he didn't.
All right, Tactics.
He said, don't blame this on me.
I'm blaming it on Tactics. He wanted me to die because he didn't want me to finish the challenge because he died in Scarlet Monastery Library, dude. He was scared I was gonna go to library after this and I'm
not gonna lie, Seedink, right here with this target dummy play though, into the bandage, I feel like you could have built enough distance on the bombs and him to just infinitely do this and then target dummy and do another bandage when you needed to.
But I wanted it to be a spectacle. I wanted to do the cool strat, and
because this is sick right here though. Like watch. You get crazy benefit from your bandage because you're using Runecloth bandages, I'm assuming. Right?
Yeah, heavies. Yeah.
So I mean, you're back up to like 80% HP. He's at 24%. If you just build distance, you could literally just kite him until you're capable of doing that again, and slowly just chip him down. So this is definitely doable.
Yeah, it was definitely doable, but again, I got baited.
Yeah. Are you gonna try and do it again?
I mean, if I have an angel investor that wants to, maybe.
I might be able to contribute. Maybe someone in chat's got an old character on Defias Pillager that might be able to contribute. Who knows? You never know.
Yeah.
But damn, can you get some F's in chat for Seedink and maybe not for Graze. Graze's death was kind of dumb. I love Graze. I love Graze to death, but
I've had deaths that were just as bad. Okay, like I tried the first 4 candle attempt. I didn't even press retell. So
yeah, that's crazy actually.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that, to be honest, is good. Is there anything else you guys wanted to cover before we call it a day on the old F's in chat? Been about a 2-hour podcast. I just wanted to show the 2. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I want to get feedback though, guys. Anyone it's in the chat, join the Discord and let me know if you want to do death clips at the end, and if you want me to make a list, or if you want chat to submit clips every week. It's up to you guys. So join the Discord. Let me know. But yeah, any last comments, closeouts? Are you guys streaming tonight? Anyone doing their thing?
I won't be streaming tonight. I'm gonna pick it back up tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. What time do you normally go live, Pops?
I usually go live around 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Perfect. We're gonna give you a shout out right now. Everyone, go follow Pops Bar and Grill. I'm sure you are already, but if you're not, you know what's super fun for me is the first time I see a lot of people is on F's in chat because I'm watching their death clips, and then it's cool in the future having them on the show to be like, look how full circle it all becomes. You know, isn't it wild? C-Dank, I think the first time I ever watched one of your clips was on F's in chat. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because
I
we
remember
met
the
in the
first-
dungeon.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead,
remember the
Pops.
first clip you watched of me dying on my Warlock, and I had a Diet Pepsi. And you're like, look at that guy. He dies and he chugs a beer.
Hey, you know what? I used to be a big beer drinker on stream. I've slowed down quite a bit, but I do respect someone that drinks a nice Coors Light. But now I know it's a Coke. It's Diet Pepsi, Diet Coke. Pops, you're who everyone wants to grow up to become. I hope you know that. Like, I want to be you when I grow up. Pops is a badass. Coke Light. Yeah, there you go. That's what it is. Nice little Coors latte. But yeah, okay, go follow Pops, you guys. C-Dank, when's the next time you're streaming?
I'm not sure.
Not sure?
I might be leveling a little bit off stream. So we'll
And
see.
I know you've been doing a ton of streaming like late night, right? Recently?
It's just kind of whenever. Yeah, sometimes late, sometimes not. But yeah.
All right, guys, go follow C-Dank. Let me see if I can do another shout out this soon. 25 more seconds, C-Dank, and I can shout you out. But other than that, I mean, I got nothing left, guys. Chat, I want to thank you guys for being here. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for watching the show. It's been a while. I know things are a little weird because we've been gone for so long. We're going to get back in the swing of it. We're going to be doing F's in chat every other Friday. And then probably when OnlyFans starts, we're probably going to go back to every Friday. So expect every 2 weeks on Fridays to be the next F's in chat, by the way, is going to be on Friday, the 20th, if we can make it work, because I'm going to be at TwitchCon. And I will be at TwitchCon with Jordy, Sarth, Linja, Ludo, Linkit Craig, Evora. We're going to have a big group of people at TwitchCon. So we're going to try and do an F's in chat live from TwitchCon. We'll see how that goes. If it's too difficult, it'll be too difficult. But we're going to try our best. Also, if you're at TwitchCon, jump in the Discord and let me know you're there if you guys want to meet up and, you know, firm handshakes to the homies that we haven't met yet. It'd be super cool. So yeah, DM me if you're going to be in San Diego next weekend. We'll all be there. Pops, if
Thanks
you
for
want
having
to
me
come
on,
down,
man.
come down. Yeah, I can do the shout out now. Boom. All right,
All good.
everybody go follow C-Dank. We're going to find somebody to raid too. Do you guys have any recommendations of a hardcore player that's gaming right now?
Ozzy and Sardako are both on.
Yeah.
Stony, she's on.
We
Stony,
raided. Oh, let's
she
get
is-
Stony
Stony,
because we
she
raided
is good.
Sadako last night. We'll get
There's
Stony.
Here's one that's relatively unknown.
Oh,
That's
okay, who's
playing
that?
hardcore. And I always like to raid the little people because I try to remember that's where I came from. And she's called Geely Plays.
Oh, she raided me last night. That's perfect. We'll raid her. We'll raid her back.
She's a real sweet gal. She's been doing a hardcore rogue. I know she's trying to get into OnlyFans, but they closed the invites. But
Yeah, everyone's trying to get in. The invites are closed at the moment. They'll open back up, I'm sure. We'll figure it out.
yeah, if they do, I'd recommend her. She's a sweet gal.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, we've got the raid cooking up. Make sure you guys go show some love over to Geely Plays. She raided my channel last night, so big shout outs to her. I heard that Dan was the one that recommended me to her to raid, so thanks, Dan. Appreciate that. And yeah, that's it for F's in chat. Make sure you guys please leave feedback. You know, we want to always take into consideration what everyone, unless you hate C-Dank.